by yourself, or you want to introduce others, but please start by introducing yourself and anybody else that you want to include in your presentation.
Sure, well, thank you. So I am Amy Bradford, the Client Relationship Manager here representing Lebanon County. And today I have the entire Lebanon County Extension team with me. So I'd like to take the opportunity for them to each give you a little bit of an update on the programming and the collaboration and partnerships that they have here in the county in order to make sure that we are reaching the residents as well as we can with the different kinds of products and programming and services that we can provide everyone here in the county and within the communities. So I'm not going to take too much time today. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. It's been a great year. So I am just approaching next week the 1 year mark here on this team, and it's been wonderful being able to work with all of you and getting to know you. So thank you for the openness and the communication that you're allowing us to do so that we can show you the benefits of the investment that you're making here within the county toward Penn State Extension. So you know, we see that we are a vital part of the community and can help with the agriculture and all the other areas, the 4-H, the leadership, the environmental stewardship, and also the food and human health aspects of the programming that we can provide in order to make your investment the most effective and efficient possible. So thank you for that support each year. We realize that is something that we continue to ask of you, so thank you. We do have a printed deck there in the pack with you in the packet. The packet also includes just some overviews of all the programs that we have. So we work within a unit structure, but within that there are 30 teams under each of those small, or not small units, but less, the smaller number of units. There are 30 teams that we have within Extension, and then within those there's hundreds of programs. So I included a packet of the overview of each of those programs just to give you a broader idea of what the services and the education is that we're providing. Certainly the folks here behind me are those that are working directly here in the community and directly here in the county, but we have the advantage of being a part of the land grant institution and being a part of Penn State and the College of Agriculture to gather information and utilize the research that's being done across the state, and educators that might be based in other parts of the Commonwealth to use as resources here in the county. So those sheets should give you a great overview of what else is happening should there be a need or a subject matter that we're not covering here in Lancaster, or in Lebanon directly. So, so I do have the packet here for you. Again, just want to say thank you. Most of this is information you know. We're not going to go through this slide by slide with the time that we have today. I'm going to leave the bulk of the time to the educators and coordinators so they can share through their programs. But if you have any questions on anything, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to answer those questions. The biggest mission today is just to communicate, to give you this update, but also to make sure that we're meeting your needs and that we're communicating what you need to make the decisions that are put in front of you, and that you have all the information you need to make those. So thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you here in October, later in October, when we present our budget more fully. But as I said, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to start. I'll have each of them just introduce themselves as they come up. Would you like them to come here to the table?
That'd be great.
We're going to start with the 4-H program.
Always nice to start with a number because we end up first on the list. We beat the alphabet. I'm Martha Gregory. I'm a 4-H educator here in the county.
I'm Julie Weaver. I'm the second 4-H educator.
And I'm Debbie Tice. I'm a 4-H program assistant.
I guess the highlight we'd like to focus on we each have something to comment on here, but I'll highlight on the fact that this year, over the past year, we've been able to engage 2,350 young people in Lebanon County in our program, and that includes both our 4-H club program, our school enrichment program, summer program opportunities, and also our Ag Literacy Week programming. And those delivery modes all include various educational activities that are building skills for individuals, and also the interpersonal skills that they need to get along and grow and make friends here in the community. We are a positive youth development program, and hopefully our intervention with youth will prevent them from getting involved in other behaviors that would not be as acceptable. So we hope that the positive skills and behaviors that they're learning are going to be things that will build and make them positive contributors to society in the future. We cannot do our program without the volunteer support that we have. So we have 105 volunteers, an increase of 7% this year in our volunteer enrollment, and we're always on the lookout for adults that care about kids and want to contribute and support their growth and development.
Yeah, so one of the exciting things that we did this year, we really are starting a concerted effort on reaching an underreached or perhaps not reached at all audience in Lebanon City, so specifically with some of our Hispanic population. So we started off that initiative with a day camp that we held with the Chestnut Street Community Center. So we did start a partnership with Chestnut Street Community Center this year. And so we had a day camp, and the campers that camped were from the population that we were trying to reach. So that was just the beginning point of hopefully having a more concerted effort to reaching the youth within Lebanon City, and also identifying some volunteers as well. Another initiative that we're starting is we're going to start a teen or a county council, which will just give some of our 4-H members additional leadership opportunities and help them plan countywide 4-H events as well. So those are two new programs that we've started within the last year.
And I work primarily, well, no, just totally with the animal science programs, and that's why the gentlemen are shaking their heads, because I see them all the time at the fair. And I try to supervise the different livestock clubs. One of the things we like to say in raising any kind of animal project is that we are teaching kids responsibility and ethics through livestock programs. The idea isn't that they're going to grow up to be a farmer or whatever. The idea is to teach them those life skills that they need of responsibility and getting up every day and doing a job. So that is our highlight.
We brought you a little knick-knack. Some of you took our golf balls are not actually golf balls, they're lip balms.
So don't hit them.
I mean, you could hit
share
them.
your affection with others. You can please don't you could use them as a golf ball probably. And our Penn State supervisor is here, so Deb, if you wanted to just say hello and introduce yourself as
Good
well.
afternoon, I'm Deb Dietrich, I'm the area 4-H educator. So in my role, I lead and supervise the 4-H staff and programs in Southeastern PA, and Lebanon is one of my best counties.
I know it may not be real obvious, but I do participate in the 4-H fair daily.
Yes, you do.
See Joellen at the indoor exhibits.
The other thing in your packet, when you get a chance, we do have an infographic that touches on some of the impact. There's just some numbers in there for you to take a look at. So if you want to take a look at that at some point at your leisure, that'd be great.
And one thing Julie did not mention is she also started a shooting sports program, which is new to Lebanon County.
Yes, so we did start a new shooting sports program, and I don't remember the number. We had a significant increase in member
53
enrollment.
registered.
And the majority of those members were brand new to 4-H. So yes, some of them were previously involved. So we do have a pretty strong partnership with Palmyra Sportsmen's Association. And this past year we offered archery as the only discipline. This year we're going to be potentially offering hunting skills, and we hope to grow that to a rifle and a shotgun program as well. So
No archery?
that is what we started with. We
Oh.
started with archery. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Monday evening at Palmyra Sportsmen's Association, we have our roundup. So if you are looking to fill a gap between 6 and 8, come hang out with us at Palmyra Sportsmen's Association and watch the kids show off their shooting skills.
Thank you
Question,
for
were
valuing
any
kids.
of you involved in 4-H when you were very young in school?
Yes.
Yes.
Product of the
Doesn't
program.
surprise
I was very little. I did not really participate in 4-H. I did not grow up on a farm. I did not do any of those things.
This is what I wanted to do when I grew up. One of things. So, yes.
She's still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, but 4-H educator was something I
Cool.
wanted to do.
Yeah. now we welcome youth between the ages of 5 to 18. When I started, you had to be 8. And I think probably a little bit before I started, you had to be 10. So they've lowered the age over the decades a little bit. So it went from 10 to 8. And we are welcoming 5, 6, and 7-year-olds as Cloverbuds. Yeah.
Well, I think I can speak for my colleagues here that I look forward to going to 4-H events that, you know, you just interact with those young people and it gives you faith that you know, we see and hear and read so many negative things that are going on in our society, and to watch those young people and what they're producing, but again, how they handle themselves, it's just
Life
very
skills.
impressive. Gives me hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Next we have Hope. Hope is our poultry educator. So she's going to talk about the poultry industry.
Like she said, my name is Hope Kasugi, and I'm on the poultry team. And my specialties are kind of different from some of the others on my team. I do animal welfare, biosecurity, and bilingual employee trainings. And I think you've probably been avian influenza and biosecurity out in the past years. We're still working very hard with that program. But what I wanted to highlight is currently we're working on a project called, we got a grant from the USDA NIFA Agri-Prospects, and then the grant is called Success Skills in Spanish for Ag. And right now we're partnering with tree fruit industry. And so I'm kind of leading the poultry, and some of my colleagues are leading the tree fruit. But the project is in 3 different modules. The first one is basic English, communication skills, and then English for their specific industry. The second one is job-specific training. So for poultry, we will be doing like a poultry tech management school in Spanish. We've done them for years for the broiler layer industries in English, but we've never done them for Spanish-speaking workers who actually do the majority of the work on the farms. So that will be coming up later this year. And then the third module, we kind of meshed it up with the first part, but it is soft skills. So like how to get along with your team, how to get a promotion, how, you know, that sort of thing that they don't necessarily know when they come here. And so we're in the middle of that. In fact, they're doing a class right now my colleagues are taking over, but for today. But when we gave them a pre-course survey, what they said was their goals are to be able to speak English, to get ahead in their jobs, and communicate more effectively with their supervisors. We do have anecdotes, some are funny, some not so funny, of mishaps that have happened due to communication issues. So in the future, we have applied for a second round of the grant to expand the program. Hopefully we get awarded that grant. We want obviously to increase the adoption of the program. The word is getting out, and we've actually had each week more people coming on, which is great. Like I said, we applied for round 2 of the grant, so hopefully we are awarded that. And I just wanted to end with a quote from a director of food safety and quality assurance. He said, "We are keenly aware of the need to provide opportunities for growth and education in a diverse workforce. We are firm believers on growing from within." So they want to keep the people that they have because they're good at their jobs. They just need a little extra training. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Next, Lori's going to speak on behalf of the food, families, and communities.
Hello.
Hi.
So I cover all things food, families, and communities, most specifically under our health and wellness team. I know that, as Amy mentioned, we often have other educators who cover things like food safety quality in this region, and that's true, but I have done our home food preservation training so that I can also offer that in Lebanon County and have a full schedule along with our volunteers next year in that area. Just darted here from a home food preservation webinar that we had 100 people statewide, over 100 registered for. So expanding all the programs I offer, which you can see there are a lot in here. But what I'd really like to highlight is something that one of my longtime participants brought up, because I tend to see people concerned about their health and longevity come to program after program, which is excellent. But our Dining with Diabetes program is one that's really important given the increasing prevalence of diabetes, and it's a very cost-effective solution. It's a 5-week series class. The 5th class is a follow-up a few months later so that we can see that longer-term behavior change and the impacts that that has. But this class is so important because it teaches people the practical skills that they need to manage their blood sugar, and also dispels a lot of the myths and the things that maybe they learned when they were diagnosed with diabetes, for some of them 20 or 30 years ago, that we've learned new science on, and things like carbs aren't the enemy, right? But how to create a balanced meal. So one of my participants who keeps coming to Dining with Diabetes, even though it's the same class, said, you know, I keep coming here because I've had diabetes for 25 years. I know how to manage it, but it's really hard to do day after day. And my insurance used to pay for a diabetes educator, but it doesn't anymore. So coming here, learning with other people, and keeps me accountable because it keeps me working on the lessons. And I just brought, and I have, I think in your packet, I'll give you, I think, one of these, but you have a Dining with Diabetes cookbook, which we share. We've also been updating just as preferences have changed and research has changed. You may notice if you looked at any of these, some of them use sugar substitutes, and we've seen preferences change around those, so we've also been offering less sugar alternates and doing some of that experimenting and pilot versions in our county kitchen that is always so fun.
I was hoping you were pouring out some of this banana pineapple delight.
I'm sorry, not in there today, but you know, come to the office. I know that's another reason, like it's an easy sell often for my classes for people to come and try food. And so Dining with Diabetes, we do food recipe samples every week and use that ongoing feedback to always improve. But my favorite activity that we do, I have like, I don't know, 7-gallon freezer bags full of these food models that come from the Dairy Council. And on the back, they have nutrition information. And so we do an activity where I spread these all around the room so people can get up and move a little and aren't just sitting and listening. But we start with building a diabetes plate. So kind of similar to my plate, but there are a few differences. But we know every good plate starts with our non-starchy vegetables. So we start there and we write down the carbohydrate content of all the foods. And we also look at sodium and fat, which are important for diabetes management. But we might start there and then we go to our lean proteins, and which don't generally have carbohydrates unless they're breaded. But we go there and we keep adding, and so then when we get to this bread, starch, grain, which can also include carbohydrates from dairy and fruit, we see what we have left to choose from. So people like learn and figure out and add and subtract from their plates if they want to have their baked potato. But if they have their baked potato, there may not be room for a starchy veg in addition to their non-starchy veg, right? Depending on your needs. But maybe you could swap that out and decide you're going to have some nice sweet watermelon, which also gives you a little dessert at the end of dinner. Or maybe you want to go, you know, on those special occasions with some frozen yogurt or a small ice cream. And it also shows the portion management because these are kind of, you know, a 2D representation of that 3D portion that's an appropriate amount. So, you know, again, we get people who have diabetes. Also, I see a lot of spouses and caregivers and parents who do the meal preparation and are learning to do behavior change for the people they love without nagging them about it or just talking, right? We learn through the food. So I think that's one of my favorite things that we do that has a lot of impact. So that's what I would share from the highlights, but I'm happy to answer questions on any of the other programs we offer.
I just have one. Did you know we were going to have the ice cream truck here today?
No.
You included it, I mean.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
great. I'm glad I left a little room in
Yeah.
my lunch for that carbohydrate, right?
Part of our employee appreciation month of activities and things we're doing for employees, just to show our
Yes, yeah,
appreciation.
thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to have everyone, and I know I've had some people in our culinary nutrition Let's Cook classes who've heard, you know, that we're going to be offering more. So, yeah, it's great. But I'll leave some diabetes plates here if anybody wants one. And I would also add, so I'm going to add, forgot I was speaking for Dawn. So I'm super excited that under Food, Families, and Communities through our Nutrition Links program, Dawn has joined us and has been working on those partnerships to teach the basic healthy eating of My Plate along with food resource management to our resource-stressed communities, dealing with food insecurity. So she's been building those partnerships up, has started some classes going, and we all know, as we all see our grocery bills changing, how important that is, and especially for those with the lowest incomes. So, again, I think when we talk about things like diabetes, we hear from our food pantries, people struggling with heart health and diabetes, but it really starts with My Plate and that first half of the plate, fruits and vegetables, and how to kind of build nutrition around that at a low cost.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. Dell, you're next.
Hello, Del Voigt, and I started out as a county agent, you know, and now I'm on the crops team, so I kind of cut across those lines. And I know Amy's stressed for time here, but just to highlight a couple of different things I think is important for Lebanon County. Number one would be the production that we've had in this county over the last year, 2 years, with state winners in both wheat, soybeans, and corn. And I do about 75 meetings across the state, and it's been a lot of windshield time. But every time I go, I just did one in Ole Valley the other night. They want to know what's going on in Lebanon. How are they getting these yields? And it's a testament to our production farms. Jim was along with our crop walk a couple weeks ago, and we did some crop canning. We're going through an ag drought right now. But because of how we manage the soils and take care of water holding capacity, we've been able to continue to increase our yields, which is pretty
Amazing.
dramatic.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things as far as going into this technological world with webinars, and we do a lot of online conferences, and that's been a learning curve for me. Not being able to see the audience and interact is a little different method there. But so we've done a bunch. You can read the number of and breadth of our meetings. And as commissioners that supported my program with the hotel and tax information, I think I got that from Bob, and I started that, and last year we were completely solvent with we'll have the ability to, the inclusion of the money then transfers into it. Last year we had about 325 farmers there. With 960 farmers in the county, that's a good percentage that were there.
30%
So
at least.
yeah, so that's, I think, a testament there. But the rest of the state, when I get around, they want to know what's going on here. Yesterday I did a harvest at Dan Hostetter's just south of Harper's Ferry, right there. Always floods there, Jim. They have in that area with 82 bushel the acre. And they haven't had hardly a drop of rain in the month of August here. So, you know, that's attributed to that. And so for between the delivery through that, every week we meet. The Zooms are going crazy. I know you're probably Zooming too. But the Zooms on a Tuesday, we come up with what we see in the county, and we put that out weekly for the farmers to see. I started a Facebook account, which I have about 426 farmers on that of the 960. So if I see it, I start getting calls in the morning. If I get 2 or 3, I know that I better get something out on this, and I can get it out, and it's instantaneous, which I think is incredible from where we came in the past as far as that just-in-time information. So that's been productive that way. And finally, I've, as a resident of Lebanon, with all of our resources here, being on the comprehensive plan, I think somebody recommended me to be on that. I think we've had some great discussions. We want to maintain the open space. We want to maintain our presence here, but we also want to grow the county in a logical fashion. And so I mentioned, we're going to have an open session for participants in the county to give feedback on the comprehensive plan. And I've mentioned that at all my farm meetings to try to get farmers to come, because they're the key to this whole, I think, what we're going to do down the road here. So it's been a great year in the past here. We had that record rainfall in May, and so that's going to definitely affect what we see this fall. The market prices are down. Tariffs have impacted local farmers. I mean, we just got to get through this next phase and try to be profitable for next year. So we're working on alternative crops. We talked about sunflowers as another crop. There's money there. There's some sorghum. We have markets that, a lot of people are feeding birds now, believe it or not. They buy bird seed and put it out, and that's another market for our local producers. So I think there's a lot of hope that we can get through some of the lower markets, but in the same token, on the animal side, the beef production has been, the prices of meat have been going up, so that's definitely, for dairy farmers, it's been helping that community out. But from a cropping standpoint, I think we have to kind of get a little bit penciled out a little bit more on our input costs to make our crops more profitable. But from a Penn State, we've done a lot of research for doing low input to try to figure out what inputs do you not need to produce the same amount of yield in this county, and that's where it's at, is what can you save in order to achieve the same thing. So are there any questions?
Are they still doing the rapeseed? Is that what it's called?
Rapeseed, canola, yes.
Yeah.
They're still pressing, Susquehanna milling. We got about 350 acres of rape. We do have sunflowers as well for pressing, trying to develop that market with the potato chips.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And there's, we have there's a lot of options as our community grows. I think the comprehensive plan, we're gonna have to probably do more programming to get more into. I think people are demanding local food, so the vegetables, getting more. We only have a few butcher shops. We're gonna have more local meats. Those and bring the prices down. But I think linking the farmers directly is kind of where we're gonna end up heading to go. But the comprehensive plan, I think, is something I really am passionate about, because you want to maintain open space and what our community is now, and we need to get less congestion on our roads. So we have to really think about how we're developing things. So, thank you.
Dell, thank you for what you're doing, for putting us on the map. I think those other counties asking what's going on in Lebanon County, you couldn't get higher praise. But again, as a testament to the county's commitment, we have we just celebrated 20,000 acres a year or so ago that are preserved, and I think we have about 20 farms on the waiting list now to be preserved. So again, we're recognized as a leader in that regard too. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it's I think Lebanon, over the years, I think that the system that you created by first getting us from the courthouse out to the fairgrounds and having that vestibule that we can deliver information really easily, and getting it out, and the farmers being receptive to changing their practices based on research has increased our yields tremendously. So yes, thanks, Mike.
Thanks.
We all know that Mike does, Dell does a superb job, but to be honest, the farmland preservation comes under the conservation district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
pointing out, we're all in favor of that. We all understand it.
Briefly, you said two things you mentioned. One was that there were, all of August, there was no moisture, but there was still, somebody had 82 bushel yield, and these record yields. What are farmers doing differently now that you can identify to conserve water and moisture and all that maybe 20 years ago they weren't doing.
I'll give you my elevator speech when I go to some other counties. You gotta plant early, you gotta have your fertility in line, but planting early and picking maturities that are gonna hit the rains. So we typically get dry during degrees, and you can pick varieties that you plant early that they will, if it's soybeans, are gonna pod when it's raining, or if it's corn, you're gonna get anthesis right during the rainfall events, like right at the fair time. That's like ideal. So we've gone earlier, we plant thicker, higher populations. You know, if I go back 30 years ago and look at my corn entries, and I follow about 25 combines a year to certify yields for national yields. So I count 500 foot a row. Back then, if you were to plant 24,000 plants per acre, you would have 10% bearing. Now we're planting 40,000 acres and not getting 1% bearing.
So it's, I mean, you don't see any irrigation, there's nothing like that going on.
No,
It's
this
just
is dry
timing
land.
and
It's
and
just
methods.
manipulating, knowing your climate.
Okay.
And then the genetics have gotten so much better. The researchers in corn have been able to take the anthesis time down from 14 days to almost 2 days. So as soon as that pollen silking happens, bam, you got pollination. Then you just need rain. But these farmers are great here. The farmers in Lebanon are just top shelf.
They're scientists. So.
They are, and you know, I was following a combine yesterday. It was 35-foot header. 35-foot header. And I would offer, you know, years ago we used to have the combine rides. If you want to go on a combine ride, let me know. Daryl Alger, you can go up in the X9 with a 500 bushel tank. And you know, if you want to get out, I'm sure I can connect you up with the growers. They're nice air-conditioned cabs now, no dust, HEPA filters. Yeah. So, yeah.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Joe, on that water thing, and by the way, I want to talk to you about silo gas. I talked to a farmer yesterday about that.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about that. The thing with water is, what are we looking at with farmers being pressed, especially in the dairy industry, to expand their operations to be competitive? How much is water going to figure in to future growth plans along with the county's comprehensive plan that's coming up here in the near future?
And the answer is I don't know. Because, you know, and that's same with poultry, the amount of water that you need for poultry or hogs or dairy. I mean, it's you know, the Susquehanna River Basin Commission, I think, probably has guidelines on that. We have a water shed steward here that might be able to comment on those legalities. But in the county, we have the Hosteders, McFeeders that are on the Susquehanna River Basin Commission. That I would probably defer that to, because it goes by your drawdowns and how much water per day you're taking out. But that could be, I don't know. So I don't know that.
Also, not
I'd
to
have
mention,
look. But I can find the answer out for you.
Well, that's what I was good to hear.
Yeah.
But not to also mention, but I will mention that Bell and Evans' future growth plans are at least to double within the next 10 years the number of chickens, because that number is somewhere around 2.5 to 3 million, 2.8 million.
Well, he said at the fair, was it 8 million? I think I heard.
No, it's a little under 3 million a week.
But he wants to expand 8 million, is what he said at the fair.
Yeah.
And so,
And Hope would be able to maybe respond to that, because that's going to really affect our community.
within a 50-mile radius of the plant.
On the crop side, I want to reach out, because he mentioned he wants to have his own organic facility there, which would be another deal breaker with low commodities on the standard market. Yeah.
Yeah, he buys most of his grain in Minnesota currently.
And these are all things that we should take into account with the comprehensive plan. So, yes, very good. Thanks, Amy.
So we have 3 more areas I just want to cover. Master gardeners are next, Judy and Karen, and then Sean's going to speak on the master watersheds, and then Deanne's going to just cover the operations and the office.
Judy Van Kuren, Master Garden Coordinator here in Lebanon County. We have grown our membership to about 90 Master Gardener volunteers. Recently, we had a big graduating class. We're in many outreach activities. I know because I see you folks sometimes in some of our activities. But I'm going to tell you about one today, and that is one that we're very proud of. It's called the Seed to Suffer program. It is Veggie Garden 101, and we do it in 6 weeks. And it's free to anyone who wants to do it. It was originally designed for low-income folks, but we take anybody. We hold it at the Chestnut Street Community Center. We've been involved in this for a year. Our first class was fall of '24. We had a class in the spring, and we're repeating it again now. Our class is usually full. We take like 20 people. That's all we can fit in the room. And we usually have a waiting list, so people are really finding this very useful. So the topics that we hit is planning your garden, planting, soil health, insect, damage potentially, and plant diseases, also harvesting. And then the last class, the 6th class, that's where Lori and Dawn will come, and so we're teaching folks how to grow them, and they teach what to do. Nutrition, putting more fruits and vegetables in your diet, and we actually make some food, and they can eat it right then and there. So not only are we teaching gardening, but we're also creating community connection. You see by class 4 or 5, they really start to talk to one another. They're exchanging emails, texts, and so on, and it's really a nice thing to see. We'll also see families come together. This go around, we have the mother of previous participants. We also have a family who were there. We have a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter all coming together and learning about gardening, so it's very nice. One of our first two participants was Lori and David Funk, who are the directors of Chestnut Street Community Center. And you can tell by looking at their garden in the front of their building, they're listening, because they really are improving, and the produce is, they're providing more produce for their free refrigerator there, right there at the center. And they went beyond that. They actually created and purchased 8 more raised beds, and they installed them behind St. Luke's Church. Of course, I had to drive by, see how they're doing, and they look great. Very neat and tidy, very productive. So all of this that they're producing goes right back into the community right there where they live. So it's been fun. We will continue this, and this is actually expanding into Schuylkill County. So this is great. So thank you for your time. If you had any questions.
Comment, thank you for the work you do at the Bank Center building. Keeping the beds all interesting and healthy and all of that, so that looks good.
Well, it is a lot of work, and we love it. It's a great place to blow off steam. We were actually kind of talking about that earlier with gardening. It's just a great way to spend your day. Yes. Thank you.
You're correct. I can attest to the caliber of the gardens at Chestnut Street Community. I live near there and walk by there.
Oh, great,
It's always in great shape.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
I have a question. This morning I saw a little purple flower. It looked like from the top a button, but it was a tall button, and purple in your garden, and it's like in the one alcove. Does anybody know what it's called? You can get back to me if you don't know.
The Ag Center?
Yeah.
So we have some fall crocuses that are blooming. They're small little purple ones.
Well, they're taller than what I know a crocus to be, but maybe that's what it is.
Well, if you stop by, I'd love to.
Okay.
It's not coming to me right now.
That's
I'm
all
sorry.
right. No, that's okay. I just thought I never saw those before. They're really cute.
It's always a joy to come to work and see that as you walk in. I think it puts all of us in a good mood
Yeah.
for the day.
It is.
To have
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Sean's with us now a month
I started
as our
and took 2
master
weeks
watershed
off.
steward, but has been a part of the program for quite a while, but now serves as the coordinator.
First off, thank you for having us today. It's great to be here. My name's Sean Jacobs. I'm the new Master Watershed Steward Coordinator for Lower Susquehanna, which is Lebanon, Lancaster, and Dauphin counties. It's a mouthful, I know. really excited for this new position. I get to work with a group of about almost 80 volunteers across the whole Lower Susquehanna program. A couple projects I really want to highlight are Rockledge HOA buffer planting in Palmyra. They reached out to us, they hit a stream, and it's mainly stormwater management. The stream was flooding their fields, and it was a mess where they walked the dogs. Over the last 2.5 years, we planted 1,200 trees in their buffer, and 70% survival rate, which is unheard of.
Yeah, that's great.
We have regular volunteers that go out and do maintenance, keep the trees tubed straight, clear the weeds. It's a demonstration buffer. So my plan is to use this as all our communities are growing, new developments going in, to invite HOAs to Rockledge to see what can be done in their HOAs to grow buffers and help with stormwater management. Second thing that I'm really passionate about is our rain barrel program. I just did one last weekend in Dauphin County. Sorry. But one of the townships in Dauphin County actually offers an MS4 credit to their customers if they buy a rain barrel. So we're trying to get rain barrels into the communities, boroughs, municipalities, to slow down the stormwater runoff into the systems. So if you can collect 75 to 150 gallons of rainwater off your roof during a storm event and then disperse it slowly, it really helps our stormwater runoff in the combined sewer systems, which central Pennsylvania is notorious for, because people don't understand stormwater and sewage back in the day, and we're trying to fix all of that now. For our October meeting, I plan on having a graphic that will show you what our program has done to assist with MS4 programs across the county, so you can see the benefit our volunteers are adding. Third program I'm really passionate about, I love beer. I think everybody likes to go, and there are microbreweries popping up all over the county. We have a program called Tap Talks, where we will partner with a brewery, bring in a speaker to talk to the community about watershed-related issues, whether understanding what riparian buffer reservoir, what live staking is and how it works, stormwater runoff, and a great way to get our science-based education out in the communities and have a little fun while we're doing it. And these are all free programs to the community. Breweries usually partner with us and offer us the space. The speakers come in and speak for free, and it's a great way to get our message out to the communities and help the county with their stormwater runoff issues, which are increasing as we develop and build parking lots in communities. The less impervious surface we have, the more we need trees in the places we can plant them. So they told me I get to play the new card for about 6 months, so I'm still new. But I will have questions, or I will take questions if you have any. I work closely with Bridging Charter Limited, Swatara Watershed Association, Clitterville Water Association. On my current job that I'm getting ready to leave, I work for Manitowoc Conservancy, which is in Dauphin County. I'm their stewardship director, so I have lots of connections throughout all the watersheds, and I'm super excited that I get to work with all these great volunteers. So, and provide support for you guys. So,
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, your contacts will do us well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, as you well know, part of the investment is and we've talked about it several times with the gardens and such, is the office that we have here in the county, so that people can come and get access to resources, and we have meeting rooms and things like that. So Deanne is our office manager, and she's just gonna.
I know we're at time, but I just wanna.
Cover
Yeah.
the.
Just wanna say, I'm Deanne Risser, I'm the office manager.
You don't have to rush.
And this is Karen Rudy,
Administrative Support Assistant.
and I just wanted to say, thank you for your support, and I wanted to let you know that we're committed to providing good customer service. We're the front line when people either call in, walk in, and you'll see how many, the foot traffic we have, the calls we're getting. We really connect the people who call in and the public to the resources. We have a lot of great local expertise, but if we don't have it here locally, we can connect them to the rest of the statewide extension. And we're committed to following up. We always make sure that people aren't left not getting an answer. We also do we kind of support all of the programs that have been talked about today, whether it's registration or working with our volunteer networks. We also do some social media posts. We send out press releases so the public does know about the events that are going on. And then we also work with our ag partners. You're nice enough to provide our classrooms for us. We work with our ag partners, which would be Lebanon Conservation, USDA, PDA, for their programs and their meetings. We coordinate those. So that's really it. We're the front line, we're the operations, and we're committed to making sure that every program here is running well.
And they're an award-winning team. They
We
got
are.
an award this year. Like, you talk about Lebanon County being recognized. I think across all our teams, we could say that other educators want to know what our best practices are, and that goes true for our office staff who got an extension award for the support that they do and the work that
So
they do.
67 counties, we were the #1 county in population. So again, I know we went a little over, but thank you.
The space is good, everything's good over there?
What's that?
The space is good, I
The
haven't been over
space
for a
is
while.
great.
Okay, you got new appliances, right?
Yes,
We did.
yes.
We had an oven that didn't go to temp, so we're happy.
And my counterpart, Deneen, Deneen is our business operations manager, so she's my counterpart, just as I serve Lebanon and 5 other counties in the area, she does as well. So we are the team at that level, but Deneen handles the business operations and handles the numbers and things, so you'll see her again in October.
Do you do building maintenance yet? Is that under you?
Well,
No.
I work hand in hand with Pat.
Yeah.
So I think that our office
Pat
used to
does.
do it, Pat Kerwin.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we do, so as the joint landlords that we are, County and
Yes.
Expo, we handle the book work and such, and then Pat and his group do the minor maintenance. They don't, I mean, there's renovations and things like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
but he's been very responsive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to share everything with you and give you this update. And as always, if you need anything, you know where we are and how to get a hold of us. So thank you for the
We
investment.
thank you, I'm proud to wear that hat.
Thank you very much. I can't have
Say,
my phone, so I can't take a picture.
You know, you're here and you keep saying thank you, you know, it's not our money, it's taxpayer money, but we
Yes.
have to make decisions about where we allocate those
Yes.
dollars, but, you know, you have to have good facilities, good programs, but at the core, it's good people. So thank you all for what you're doing, you make it easy to make a decision that this is a good investment for Lebanon County, because we get a big return on your work. So God bless you, keep it up. I thought, you have all these people giving us all this good information, I thought you were here to do one of those "we are" chants.
You can do it. We are.
They didn't
They didn't
respond.
respond. And again, they sleeping.
We might get asked to do that.
Come on, you have to do it before you leave.
All right. We are.
Penn State.
Thank you very much.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
Are you reporting that hat on you? It looks like it's worth about $100. Are you reporting it on your? Yes. Just received.
And thank you for the hat.
See you later.
And this.
I'm gonna tell you about that. I mean, how bad is that knowledge?
Sure.
Yeah, it's.
Take this.